Hello everyone, this is Panda. Let's talk about my photography and me selling prints to pay off maybe some medical expenses. So with that said everyone, on this channel, I'm a travel photographer, documentarian, travel consultant. We've been in New York City, in and out, and I wanted to share my experience dealing with some of my health concerns and doing some evaluations about my options for better health surgery for my stomach cancer issue that I'm having. But Marley, good to see you, friend. So with that said everyone, so I just wanted to emphasize some of my photography so you guys understand why I charge this amount for this amount of work that I do for each either landscape, portrait. So with that said everyone, for example, I like street photography, right? And a lot of people like concept art or street photography. But I want to do something different with a different lens, and I forgot I even had this photograph to add. So I posted on social media, people liked it, people didn't expect it, because you know how people are, they expect me to shoot one way. And as I said earlier, in my earlier video talking about photo jobs, gigs, that photography is very subjective. So for me, photography is very subjective, but my concept is what I see through my eyes is what I take. So, but when I try to emphasize why some of these photography Instagram advertisement about hiring a photographer up to a certain amount of money, they advertise it. It's just advertisement. So with that said everyone, if you guys want to buy a print, just go to my website, ThePandaPhotographer.com. Everything that I say on links, descriptions, detailed information, it's in the descriptions down below. I see a lot in the comments. Where's your email? Where's your... And when I'm emphasizing, what do you mean where's my email? My emails are where they're supposed to be, on my website, on my social media page. This is why when you folks say, oh, you should put your email, and no, I should not put my email in the descriptions below, because that would just lead up to spam and nonsense emails from spammers. So please check the descriptions if you want to know more details about buying a print. Both websites are up. 646 Studios is up, and ThePandaPhotographer.com is up. So with that said everyone, yes, I have a print available if you guys want to buy my cat prints. This is Finn, by the way. So with that said everyone, this is how I evaluate and price my images when I go out and about, like outside right now. If I was to pull out my camera and my lens, I am literally executing skill sets of what I have learned so far as a street photographer, no matter where I am. I'm also trying to execute composition, but also artistic flair, and thinking outside the box, but following that rule of thirds. And this is why people, you should pay for this. This is why photographers, when we price things at a certain price range and then we discount it for a reason, because you as an audience tend to see that not only that the images that are being edited, not just, keep in mind that the software is not always free, and there are certain tools that you cannot use for free. We spend money on it. So the next thing I'm going to talk about too is editing those photos and coming back to the home or wherever you are to edit those photos and trying to see how you're going to edit those photos. Now, or duration, it takes about 5 to 15 minutes per image. But if you're a professional retoucher, you take a little bit more, about 5 to 25 minutes per image, just to make sure that the client is happy with the images. But people don't seem to realize that, like, you went out, you executed, you were outside. That's part of the job, but that's also part of the reason why there's a price tag on prints. And emphasizing my prints on glass, not regular print paper now, but glass. So with that said, everyone, software, execution, camera, education, and how to edit, yes, people should pay for that because it's a skill set that I or anyone, he or she, has developed as a photographer to provide you a product, a beautiful, outstanding product, because we as photographers believe 100% that our work is important. That's why I was emphasizing earlier today about one of you just was being very too pushy about an advertisement ad on Instagram, which I didn't understand why she was trying to throw this at me. This is like 4 days ago, and she has no idea. And listen, no disrespect to her, I tried to inform her. You have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. And you just said it yourself, and you contradicted yourself. And this is why I'm trying to tell you guys and educate you guys. This is why you guys supposed to watch my channel and supposed to take whatever I say with a grain of salt, but take it as a professional photographer that's been traveling. And guys, I have an Instagram with a lot of followers. I'm pretty sure that when I try to emphasize and tell someone relations about photography, gigs and jobs, you're not supposed to take every job, you're not supposed to take every gig, because not every gig is going to work out for you, and not everyone's going to pay you the flat rate that you feel comfortable being paid at. And this is why I'm trying to emphasize why on this channel we are a sponsorless channel. No one sponsors this channel. Yes, Sunway Photo sometimes send me free stuff to review products, but this is a sponsorless channel, and we emphasize the nature of free education. What you're trying to tell me, and what other people are trying to do today, or were trying to do today, was telling me that I should just do it again. No, worry, not once, but twice, but do it for a third time to humiliate myself and embarrass myself. But when I try to tell someone from experience, that's the thing why people don't listen or read. From experience, if I tell you in words, take it from my experience as a photographer, and you're not, don't give out information if you're not too sure about that information, especially if you're not a photographer and you never, ever in your entire life even thought about becoming one. So please, I digress. With that said, everyone, I'm Panda. I just came from my hospital visit. That was long and fun and really boring, but I'm trying to sell prints again to pay off maybe some medical expenses if it comes to that point, because now I have to talk to my medical insurance about surgery procedures and how much it's going to cost. And I already know how much it's going to cost. Is the insurance company going to actually cover it, or cover most of it? That's what I'm trying to figure out and get to the bottom line. So that's my next step. But as I said before, guys, I am a photographer, not some random bullshit Instagram wannabe photographer that you probably see quite a bit. You got young people out here flashing cameras but not shooting. I am a dedicated photographer. Go to my Instagram. All the links are down in the descriptions below. You cannot sit here and watch the content and say that you didn't know that information was not in the descriptions. I see that a lot in the comments. You don't put your email, as I said earlier. I don't have to put my email when there's a threat on social media. That's why you don't put your personal emails as a way of communication. If someone wants to communicate with you, you communicate with my website. Do my website. Simple as that. If you don't want to communicate with me there, then communicate with me elsewhere. But other than that, I'm not providing my personal emails when I have a website. So with that said, everyone, this is John Tack. So I'm emphasizing my work as a photographer, and as someone that sells prints. I want to show you what goes into these images, how they are being processed. First and foremost, I shoot all my images manually with manual lenses. Yes, I know you guys will probably say, what, so you can afford autofocus lenses? No, there's a certain brand out there, and I'm a documentarian. I like film looks a lot, so I shoot a lot of video, but I take that concept and put it in photos, and I like shooting a certain profile. Like on my Canons, I shoot the C-Law profile. Now, some of you might say, well, you're shooting RAW anyway. Why are you shooting in that format? It doesn't really matter, right? You're right. But I like shooting in that color profile because I know where I'm going to direct myself when I color grade it. Just like this image here. I shot this using C-Log. And I went from C-Log to this. Colorful, bright, vibrant, sharp, detail, long exposure. That is what I'm going for. It has to pop, it has to tell you a story, but it also has to like say, I would like that on my wall. Especially on a very, very thin glass print. What that tell everyone? I am selling prints. And I'm only selling glass prints, and I think my last couple glass prints were successful. People loved them, other than one person that literally said that she loved it and then started to portray this whole family here on Panda Nation. And you guys know who she is. It's the lawyer lady. But with that said, everyone, please, if you are someone in the audience that is listening to me now, and you can understand my frustration with my explanations with some of my audience back to back. This is not the first, this is not the second, this is not the third, fourth, fifth, or sixth time I had to explain these things about photography gigs in New York City or anywhere. Why some are very biased about what gear you use. Some people are very picky about who you are, and this is why no photographer, no agency should be picky about a photographer's craft when photography is very subjective. That doesn't make sense. And that means that you shouldn't be doing business with those individuals if they can't see or open their eyes to subjective point of views when it comes down to photography. That means they do have criticism and bias towards people and how people shoot and what gear they shoot. And I try to emphasize this quite a bit because, as I said, you go to the ADC, they ask you one question, and it shouldn't be what camera you shoot. It's like, we want to hire you. We saw your portfolio, we saw your Instagram. We want to see, can you handle a day worth of, or an hour worth of non-stop shooting? And that should be the test. Should be no questions, but that's the first question they ask. What camera are you shooting with? I see that you shoot with multiple cameras, and yes, that's a reasonable question. If they continue with the question by saying, I see that you shoot with multiple cameras, what's your choice of camera that you shoot with? And what camera do you shoot with? And then your follow-up question would be, well, I shoot with anything I get my hands on, but should it matter once I do the job correctly and execute it with the client's satisfaction? Because sometimes the client didn't hire you. It's the model agency or the photography agency that hire you. And then that's where they criticize you, but the client doesn't. And sometimes you have to literally send it to the client first, or let the client see it, or explain to the client, listen, you have been doing you're conducting your business with these agencies for a while. This is my first time, but I'm telling you, this is how I conduct my business as a photographer. They do their way, they pay me to do this job, and if they don't pay you the flat rate that you think your client said, this is what I'm looking for, and mind you, if your client says, this is what I'm looking for, and you go to your so-called person of interest that hire you for the job, and they don't pay you that top dollar, then you know that you never work for that agency ever again.
Zay wants us to go to public.
Never work for that agency ever again. Make them want to work for you, not work for them. Make them want you come back to them. Have them on their knees saying, oh, we would love to shoot with you again. We really, really wanted to apologize. We didn't call you for such a long time. No, I know why you didn't call me for such a long time. You doubted my ability as a photographer, and you should never doubt someone's ability based on your profession. Because each time someone says this, oh, my profession led me to really smart decisions. Sometimes your profession can lead you into really bad decisions too. So I'm emphasizing 2 criteria about being a photographer: determination and know your value. And this is why I was trying to tell Goddess earlier that you don't know my value, do you? You're not doing a very good assessment, I should say, on my evaluation on how I value my work. And that is disrespectful when I have said this many times on this channel, that I value my work and it says it on my website. Why would you want me to literally beg someone for a job when they don't offer the job to me? That's the thing. Don't ever go to someone begging for an opportunity. Make them come beg for your opportunity to work for them. Say, we want you to shoot the next, I don't know, Bacardi alcohol beverage commercial or advertisement billboard. Or we want you to do the next, I don't know, North Face and Gucci lineup for 2023. Make them call you. Make them email you. Don't email them all the time. And that's just what most photographers do on a desperate plea, when they're so desperate. Listen, if you don't get the job, what you do is you continue to go out every day, and you continue to edit, and you continue to shoot, and you continue to show that you can do the job every single day as a determination as a photographer, with no one in your way or blocking your way for making your dreams come true. I do, actually. So I'm trying to educate my audience about photography on this channel, because it seems like there's an audience there's a certain person that was watching but doesn't watch anymore, and says she doesn't watch all my channel, all my content. And this is why I said, then you shouldn't say anything about photography when you don't watch but you shouldn't say or open your mouth to say such things that came at your mouth today about, oh, you literally said you don't watch my content all the time. So how can you not watch my content? Let me explain this. How can you say you don't watch my content all the time and then try to give me advice about the content that I'm spitting on this channel as a photographer? And that's why I said it doesn't make sense on your behalf, Goddess, to question my ability. And I understand you're trying to help me, but when I tried to explain it to you the first day about that ad, I said, did you read the ad carefully? It says photographer hire, but also studio rent. It's advertising. And as I said, once again, if I was one of those hirees at the studio, and I came with a Canon 70D, right? But you, as a person, came in with a high-end Canon 1DX Mark II and threw that in my face. Who do you think they're gonna hire? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about who they're gonna hire, because they said, "Ooh, that camera looks professional. Let's see his work, and let's try to get him in the room first and see what he can do." They won't even give the other parties a chance unless they even have something similar or even better. And I don't play the big dick game. I don't play this game where I have the biggest horse. I don't. I don't think playing with photography's emotions that way is practical or professional. And people do that in this line of work. In this industry, people play with photographers' emotions all the time. And this is what Goddess doesn't quite understand. And she will understand at the point when she's a photographer and when someone rips her off on a job or tell her job is not that good to be paid right now, or come next time with better equipment, you're gonna be like, next time come with better equipment. I can execute this with this minimum equipment and do it better. And this is what I'm trying to say. Gear doesn't matter. But these agencies put gear first, then education third. What's second? If you can sell your soul to them too. Meaning like, oh, let's talk negotiations. Now, let's say you talk negotiations, you went to a price point. So, well, my flat reads for this kind of job right here is $250. And they said, well, we want to pay you $125, like $250, $125. I can't pay my bills that way. You have to literally say, so you're undervaluing my work, but you call me to what? To see you can get some free work out of me? Because that's what that is. When someone literally undervalues your work, you're pretty much giving away free work. Don't give away free work. And I choose not to give away free work because it's my right. It's my civil right to choose not to give out any of my work without anyone signing any intellectual property documentation. This is why I put notices on all of my images and let people know, if you use my images without my consent, you can be prosecuted. Just a saying, because I literally took the time and took the money and the time to fly to a city to take that photograph. That means I spend money to do it. And this is why if people don't want to pay for prints, then you tell them then you shouldn't actually buy any print from any photographer if you don't think their prints are valuable. Because how do you think that person got that photograph? That person's not from that place. That person literally flew there and spent the money and time and probably spent more money to get to that place in order to get that shot. So yeah, it's valuable. This is why I don't understand my audience half the time, especially ones that were watching and then stopped watching, and then I understand that you have other criteria, but you can't just out of nowhere suggest that I should try it again. After multiple times we have demonstrated that sometimes you don't want to actually be undermined. And sometimes as a black photographer in this country, you're undermined sometimes. This is why, if you're a black photographer, and this is not nothing really to do with race, but sometimes people look at you, if you're colored, they say, oh well, let's be realistic. If someone, of course, let's be realistic. If there was three applicants in the office, one black, one white, one Asian, who are you going to think they're going to pick first? Of course they're going to pick the white guy, the white woman or the white man first. No offense, this is like I said, this is just how people still think today. It's like, I'm going to go with this white person because statistically, they're more reliable. Because if you ever work in a work environment, like if you ask an Asian, who would you work better with? Asians, whites, blacks, Latinos, that sort of thing. And most people feel confident enough to say, I want to work with a white person because I feel like they got more value, they got more money, they can literally, and that's not true. And this is why those kind of statistics are absolutely bullshit. Because there are plenty of black photographers like myself that haven't gotten the chance to prove themselves, or we did, but people just don't think we are ready for the prime time yet because they feel like I said, our art is very subjective. And so they're going to be very subjective about it. So they're going to be very, very opinionated about your work. And that happens all the time in this industry. People are very opinionated and don't care about what you want. It's what they want. Because they're the ones that are hiring you. But here's the thing. It is all about what you want, because you're the photographer. You execute. You know the craft. You know the art. You have the eye. You have the skill set. Who are there to tell you what you don't know and what you do know, or how you know, and how did you get it to know? Or if that makes any sense? I had that written earlier, like a key on my Panda. I had that written perfectly earlier. It's like a good saying. I had written in it in my fucking, my Panda. But anyways, I just feel like people don't give enough artists a chance. Just like, this is why like, I stopped shooting with Sony. Like, I don't want to be a collective. I wanted to be a collective at one point. And then I realized that there are so many collectives that want to be collectives, and then so many Sony fanboys at the time that were hating on each other. This is why I literally stopped shooting with Sony, because there were Sony shooters that weren't really Sony shooters that were hating on Sony shooters, because I grew up on Sony A mount. I grew up on the Minolta mount, the MD mount. Sony brought Minolta. And this is why when I talk to a photographer like Sony now and talk about ancient lenses, mechanical lenses like the f2.8 200 mechanical telephoto lens, yes, that's still a really good lens. And that lens came out in what, 1984, I believe. And it's electronic mechanical, and it still is fast motor, and it locks on. Yes, the motors are a little louder than what you expect from your common lens today, which is quiet motors, quiet autofocus, stabilization, but that lens is a beast. I shoot with lenses like that, and I literally demonstrate and perform stunning images like this one. So you take it with a grain of salt. I was walking looking for shots, looking for execution, looking for something that people will enjoy. I'm not looking for photos that I enjoy. I look for photos that people will enjoy. People that will have questions like, wow, you take a photo of this homeless guy, or this fire truck, or this cat, or this scenery. Like, but why? What? And this is why when people ask this very question about my skill set as a photographer, so what do you shoot in photography? I say everything, because I shoot everything. I have shot in weddings, astrophotography, time-lapse, long exposures, hyperlapse. I have shot long exposure, motion blurs, stop motion blurs. I did motion stop footage. I have done everything in photography that is possibly known to man. Even did darkroom layouts. And this is why I don't understand an audience that cannot come to the Poppins. I guess I'm trying to say is that I don't understand why today Goddess didn't come to the fruition that she was wrong about providing me information that she wasn't even aware of. That's the thing. You were providing me information that you weren't aware of. This is why I don't send information to people that if it doesn't relate to what they're good at. Like, for instance, let's say you are a DSS social worker, like I used to be in Wisconsin State in Portland, okay? We now today found out from New York State that the system literally lied about everything. If you did not see that broadcast news on my YouTube community post page, you need to go check it. It literally proved everything I was saying about DHS in New York City. Everything they have done, how they do assessments, were all a lie. None of them do their jobs correctly. So this is why I said, as a documentarian and as a consultant, as someone that worked in the field, I have skill sets. So let's go back to that. Let's say you were a DHS social worker, and I provided you information about this particular article and story that many have contributed to. And as a social worker, are you part of the problem? See, I would share that information, so I make sure that as you, or a social worker, or an assessment social worker for homeless outreach or DHS, you're supposed to do your homework, you're supposed to do your job. And I and someone from the community is trying to help you, not as someone in the community, but as an ally. I'm not gonna give someone some information. Let's say, for instance, I have no idea about being a firefighter, but I give someone information about being a firefighter. I'm contradicting myself, trying to be a smartass right there. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm being a smartass right there. Why am I trying to provide this person about being a firefighter? Because I don't even know how to be a firefighter myself. That is really contradicting myself. Yes, it's also helping, but when that person tells you, oh, I have done this training before, and I have done several different types of training, and I even got a certificate, and the person keeps, and I keep throwing it at you, and saying, well, you should go for it anyway. But why? I already have my certificate. That's what I'm trying to say. So with that said, everyone, I'm emphasizing also education. Why you, as an audience, should pay more attention to your creator and to what they say about what they do and what they did as a profession. For a long time, I shot photos for a very long time. And I can say with the 100% gratitude in my heart, I am so surprised that I am very skilled at something that I was self-taught. And here's the thing, guys, I am self-taught at photography and videography, and that's because when I was a child, I was given a camera, an opportunity, a chance to turn my mischief into art. I was able to do that. My adopted parents provided me with a camera, and I did it. And look at that now, guys. Self-taught photographer. No education. They went to no goddamn university, no school for photography. I learned it as I was going to school for something else. And it's not that hard to know and pick up. It's not that hard to follow your favorite photographer and watch their videos in full so you can get a grasp on what they just taught you in this lesson today. This is why, as photographers, we make these videos, and half of you guys, half of you don't watch the content in full. We can see how long the duration per person is. If I make a video for 35 minutes, but the duration is 6 minutes, that means an average person watches my video for 6 minutes and 53 seconds. And then they get tired or bored. Why? I want to know why. Is it not driven you on? Is it not giving you hope? Is it not driving you to be more confident? Am I supposed to perform a miracle for you? The miracles only happen if you do it yourself. I'm 42 years of age. I did most of everything I have done after being disowned from my parents for a while now on my own. No one's financially helped me other than the people that financially helped me through this process. And now, in the last 2 years since COVID, and the last year, right? This 1 year passed. I got support from my audience. Some support came in a dying state, and some support was actually neutral, and some support is actually real. But some support was also a cover-up to show their true identity. Like, for instance, there was this one woman named Gara that literally was donating, right? And I told her to stop donating because she kept being very bossy, telling me to do this. But guess what, guys? She doesn't live in New York City, but she's Googling stuff that she does not have any idea about. but she's tagging me. Guys, it's like spamming my email. That's when you know someone doesn't know. Because if you do know, you only have to email that person one time and show them one link, one video, one website, and that is it. You don't have to show them 40 different links. Like, you're confusing the person, but you're also misleading yourself as a friend. So, I'm going to emphasize that in this video as well, as we did this earlier at the hospital. Because some people just tend to not listen and literally get butthurt about me putting you in your place. It's not even putting you in your place. Telling you that you were absolutely not in the right place to give me advice about being a photographer when you have no knowledge about being a photographer or have no experience whatsoever. But that's the thing. Instagram is full of this is the thing. This is why people don't use or understand Instagram. We all know that Instagram now is full of nothing but advertisement. Advertisement after advertisement after advertisement. You sent me an advertisement. You should have thought about, like, wait, was that an advertisement? But with that said, everyone, as a photographer, I personally don't like when someone that has no knowledge about photography tells me how to run or execute my photos and how to sell my photos when they have no experience whatsoever doing that. I do this. Yes, you're absolutely right, Marley, or that lawyer lady. She certainly showed her true colors, exactly as I said. Thank you for bringing that up, Marley. I'm glad that you remember, and I'm glad that you are here as a true audience, as a true Panda Nation member, that you remember what she did. Pure disgust, by far. I could not believe that kind of attitude here. Mind you, and this is why I said, why would a black person attack another black person? No. I say this to emphasize white, Asian. You guys have to understand me. If you're white, you're Asian, think about this concept. It's like the other day when I was here, or the other week. A black man attacked me for protecting him from being a victim of a hate crime. But he attacked me. This is why I was trying to tell her, you're a lawyer, a black lawyer attacking a black artist, trying to share freedom of speech, but freedom of the press, and you're trying to now silence me because what? I didn't do what you want me to do? You brought a print, you said you liked it, you loved it, you was surprised about the quality, and then you rate my, yeah, she took it from 5 stars to 1 star. Yeah, so I had a perfect star on my website or my business, and now I have a 4.6. Yeah, that's what she did. So, and mind you guys, and if you want to be reminded what I did for her, also, I actually also executed that print and expedited that 2 days earlier. So basically she got the expedited print basically for fucking free. Like, I literally spent the money on the expediting, on the shipping, and mind you, she got the print in the next 2 days. Normally customers don't get in the next 2 days unless you live close to the location that I mail it from, or which I use my company, or not my company, but a company called Fractal to print my glasses. I mean, my prints. But I digress. But thank you, Marley, for bringing that up. But she wasn't the only person that did that. I mentioned about another lady named Gara. She said that she used to live here years ago, but you haven't lived here in 15, 16 years. How would you know what's going on? And as a photographer, ladies and gentlemen, I know what's going on. I am aware. This is why I pay attention to my surroundings. I pay attention to the people that is surrounding me. But also pay attention to where I need to be. And this is why people always don't take things seriously on this channel. I even mentioned that recently, if you guys haven't been reading some of the comments from older channel, from other videos that I made, I'm making death threats on this channel. And YouTube is not taking it seriously. YouTube allowed a comment to bypass the whole mind you guys, some comments I have it set to hold appropriate till I review it. YouTube bypassed it and allowed this comment to bypass. But guess what they did recently? Guess what they did recently, guys? If you guys didn't see what YouTube did recently, which just makes no sense, I'll show you what they did. They demonetized, YouTube demonetized a video of me talking about the weather. I kid you not, friends. As a photographer and documentarian, I feel like as a documentarian on this point, not a photographer, as a documentarian, YouTube, are you literally trampling on my civil rights right now? You're literally telling me that I cannot talk about the weather and inform people in New York City that weather is coming? Because let's be honest, people in New York City do not pay attention to the weather. They literally come out their house without an umbrella, knowing that it's going to rain and downpour, and get stuck in the rain. That's why the video was made, but guess what? They demonetized it. So I want you to see that, why we asked you, as an audience, to support this channel, if you can, directly. Now, the reason why I disabled Super Chats, which I didn't actually, because I just realized today I didn't disable Super Chats, is because every time YouTube does a reboot or a reset or something, they reactivate some settings on my account, which I not allowed, and I have to fix it every single time. But we don't do Super Chats because Super Chats, they take 30%. YouTube, why are you taking 30% when you're doing exactly this? You're doing this. And as a photographer, YouTube, and this is why I want you as an audience to understand, as a photographer, this hurts my business. This hurts my value. This hurts my word of mouth. This hurts how I conduct and how I demonstrate as an artist. And YouTube doesn't want that to be shared. Why are you taking 30% then? I found that very unselfish behavior, but also greed. You want to demonetize my videos, but if someone in my audience wants to do a super chat and say donate $50, you want to take 30% of that. But that's not fair for me, because guess what? You did nothing to help me, YouTube, and that is why I'm emphasizing, guys, as a photographer, as a documentarian, the content that is on this channel is only to give you an enlightenment at reality. Not that the superstitious bullshit that you see on television, that some people may believe in that. This is why I tell people you gotta separate television life from reality. And this is why I believe that Goddess was thinking, I think Goddess has no knowledge, and she's basing this on television concepts about how I, as a photographer, should actually, I guess, present myself to an agency or a photo agency and let them know, like, my value and my flat rates are $250. You can't do $250. You want to go beyond that? And as I said, these places have keywords. When they say pay up to, that's not guaranteed. Everybody knows that. It's a catch-22. Oh, we can pay up to $10,000. And then you find out that you go to this place. It's like H&R Block. Okay, when tax season comes around. Oh, you can get up to $5,000 on your tax return. Up to. See, that's the key word. Up to. It's not only trying to provoke you, but it's also trying to persuade you to spend money with them. Yes, because in H&R Block, you do have to spend money to file your taxes. So, and I hope you guys understand that key phrase, that marketing key phrase. We can pay up to, and this is what I was trying to educate some of you about today on this video. when a photo agency, photographers, if you're listening, if a photo agency is looking for photographers and they say up to $350, I'm like, up to $350 per hour or a day? Because I could get more than that in a day. That's why you have to step up and open your mouths. Never keep your mouth closed, or know your rights as a photographer. Oh yeah, that's on my website, 646studios.com. Go check it out. Yes, that link is not in the description, but I'm telling you what it is. 646 Studios is where you used to go all the time, guys, before the ThePandaPhotographer.com website was up. So I don't understand why no one knows that website. It's an educational website that I built to help you guys understand. And other photographers have helped me contribute to that website. I asked them for a photo. They said, sure, long as it's suggested to help other photographers, guarantee. And you can go to one of the pages and see the 10 composition rules, and other photographers gave me their shots to help you educate yourself for free. That's it. Simple. Done.
Oh my god.
That's why that website is there. I learned from other photographers like David Oster, Michael the Raven. I even learned from Jason Vanier, even though I despise that fucking guy. I literally don't like his attitude towards women. As I said, as a photographer, we respect all women and all men and all sexes. We are not biased. Jason Vanier wasn't biased, and we learned from him not to be biased. There you go. But anyway, I learned from Photo E-Ike. He's in Seattle. You never can announce it, but in Seattle area. He's a teacher. He teaches. He does the same thing I do, but he literally school he could go to. He has students, young ones, adults, teenagers. If you never watched his videos, Photo E-Ike, you should watch his goddamn videos. So good. But guess what? Every time he posts and uploads such good content, YouTube always wants to flag his content. YouTube, it's education. This is how photographers educate other photographers to execute photos correctly. If you photographers how to do it, why are you demonetizing education? This is Michael the Raven and Hannah Saba from Australia. A lot of photographers out there, like Alicia from the UK, Sansa ambassador now. Holy shit. She came up in the ranks. I have like this guy named Gary Walker from Texas. He learned from me, and now look at his work. His work is as better than mine. And he does a lot of portraits and a lot of weddings and a lot of portraits, a lot of headshots, a lot of candid family shots. And he does it so well. And he said it himself. He learned it from me. And I learned it from other photographers, and I didn't have to go to school for it. Not go to school for it. If you have the money, go for it. Go to school for it. But if you have the money, if you want to say, I don't want to go to school for it, but I have the money, I just use this money to help me build up my education. That's another way you can do it. Buy books, buy the camera, watch proper YouTube channels with proper photographers in mind. Not photographers that want to show off sexy bodies and try to get rates and try to get views. That's bullshit. Yes, that's also executing photography, but it's also demonstrating that you have a bad side to you want to emphasize something else, but you're not emphasizing a lot of your knowledge by talking to the audience. This is why I have to engage in my audience in the content. But with that said, everyone, documentary based channel, period. I stopped here to use the Wi-Fi because I don't know what's going on with this stupid cell phone service, but I'm getting really sick of it now. Oh yeah, and apparently I got a fucking a slight fever. Apparently I have a fever. I don't feel like I have a fever, but apparently I was I was 109. I was like, 109? I was 109? He's like, yeah, I said 109. Ooh, I mean 100.9, my fever. I was like, I don't feel sick. My stomach feels sick. But anyway, so yeah, this video is dedicated to selling my prints, but also trying to educate you guys about being a photographer is a struggle, but also it's full of like problems with people that don't want to value your work properly. They want to undervalue your work all the time because so yeah, it's undervaluing. It's always going to be undervalued. Someone's going to always undervalue your work because they want it for cheaper, or if they can't get it for cheap, they want it for free. And this is why don't hand out your work for free. If someone says, oh, if someone emails you and says, send me through your best headshots or your best headshots or your best work, like, why when you can see it on my social media page? Don't ever send your work to someone unless they are a legitimate licensed photographer, because if they use your work out of context and they use your work out of context without your permission, you can literally sue them for damages. So keep that in mind. So, and that has happened twice to me back in 2016. So keep that in mind. We had gotten rid of that problem, and that's the problem that we have today. A lot of people want to use your content, but they don't want to pay for it. But even if they want to pay for it, they want it. They pretty much, like, let's say recently someone contacted me for a print of something, and I said, why don't you go through Shutterstock when it's listed on Shutterstock? Oh, we wanted to contact you first. Like, yeah, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass. Like, why are you not buying it off Shutterstock? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you contact me first so you can try to get it for what, free? No. That might work with some amateur, but that's not gonna work with me. Like, don't do that, ladies and gentlemen. Have them go to the proper channels to buy your prints. This is why I have a website. This is why I have it on Shutterstock. This is why I have my work on several different platforms as a contributor to sell it. But recently, I don't sell a lot on Shutterstock. Apparently, I just don't. It's a competitive platform and tons of artists. So you cannot hate that. But when someone contacts you directly, it says, oh, we would like to see if you can send that print directly to us to this email. I'm like, no, why? Like, even if I send you a low res, like, no, why? Ask that question sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Ask that reason to them. Why? Why am I sending this to you? What's in it for me? That's why a lot of photographers can't agree with me about the way I am presenting myself as a photographer. I am teaching you how to stand up for yourself and not give in to, oh, you want to work for $10 an hour as a photographer at a fucking Six Flags? Be my guest. Remember that, guys? Remember that, guys? Back in last year, we got a job offer at Six Flags. Remember that? You guys remember that shit when it was at the New York City Hospital in Manhattan? When Six Flags contacted me, it says, we saw your work. We wanted to see if you can send us some of your finest portfolio work. I was like, why? In the email, I said, why? When I have social media, a website, and that didn't make sense. Then I asked HR, why are you asking me if I have my own equipment? Don't you guys have your own equipment? Because you're supposed to have your own equipment. We do have our own equipment, but we would rather you use your own. I said, so my equipment is not going to be insured by Six Flags. That's what that means. Correct. That's when I was like, nope, I passed. And not only that, they were paying only $11.75, 12, what is it, $11.75 or $12 an hour? And I was like, are you serious? You're going to pay me to walk around and take pictures for you and do nothing but editing at the end of the night and do the next day for $12 an hour? Are you kidding me? See ya, I passed. And I cannot keep none of the photos, even though I have to shoot it on my own camera. Are you kidding me? And I have to literally surrender my SD cards. That was another thing about that job interview. I was like, I have to submit my personal SD cards? Are you serious? Like, no, I passed. I'm not submitting my... This is why no one ever wants to be a photographer for Six Flags. I don't even understand how Six Flags even got... Oh yeah, that's right. I know how they got the number. Because someone suggested that, one of you guys suggested that through Instagram, and I never thought that was going to happen, and they actually did contact me. But yeah, you should go back on this channel and look at that very video when Six Flags contacted me. That was pretty embarrassing, Six Flags. You literally was going to pay me $12 an hour, and I had to shoot with my own cameras, even though you have your own cameras, and you're not going to insure my cameras. So it's saying if one of your employees break my camera, I have to talk to my insurance, and my insurance may not cover it because I didn't tell them that my employer doesn't want to cover the insurance. Yeah, they're gonna find that a little bit weird, but then again, that's Six Flags. Yeah, this is why I don't do in these museum parks when it takes a lot of photography. No, because I can't shoot the way I want to shoot, and that was another problem with the job, is that they did not want me to use any of my software. They wanted me to use their software. It's like, wait, I can't use the software that I'm normally used to using my software, where I have all of my presets, all 5,000 presets that I can use to kill the task and edit these photos that you want me to use. Yeah, I passed. And the woman asked me, "You're being very particular." I was like, no, you guys are being very particular because I know my rights as a photographer, and what you are asking me to do is violating all principles of what I stand for, and I'm basically working like a slave for you for these photos. Oh yeah, by the way, you have to per day at least present at least 500 images or more per day. That was the no. You have to take 500 images or more and have to edit. Yeah, no. For that work, no way. So with that said, everyone, if you want tonight, let's talk about dinner tonight, shall we? Since we in a community refrigerator this whole entire time and nobody noticed it. This is probably the most unsuccessful community refrigerator in Brooklyn. Every time I come here, there's oh yeah, right, Jonathan. We came here the other night, Jonathan. And Jonathan was like, damn, it's empty. Like, I told you, it's always empty. But anyway, guys want to contribute to maybe a photographer meal tonight? There's a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Guys want to support the channel? All you have to do is like, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave a comment down below. We are literally going to take a surgery suggestion from the doc. Even though this is not the hospital I was at, it's not the hospital I'm going to do it. I had to just... Okay, so they gave me a placebo. They gave me a trial medication. That's supposed to be a trial basis medication. And I've been literally giving them like blood samples. So I told them I was in Brooklyn. And I said, do you have another place I can come? Because I really don't have car here to come all the way to Queens at this time. I really don't want to go to Queens at this time. But yeah, they said I can go to the... What is that? The Gary Ware's Hospital, which is right on that Flushing Avenue. I was like, oh, I know what that is. So yeah, we've been quite busy today. And I've been quite busy. If you guys didn't know, I have developed a stomach cancer. So I'm not sure if you guys have been watching my videos, and I've been trying to deal with it in my own terms. But I am accepting it. But yeah, so the purpose of this video today is to educate you that I am just a photographer. I'm just like you, a normal person, educate. But there's a time and a place where you should educate or try to help someone. But with that said, everyone, I'm going to digress off the topic, and I'm going to say thank you for watching me for this hour. And here's the thing about GoFundMe, ladies and gentlemen. So lately I've been having a problem with GoFundMe, Jonathan. So do not donate to the daily deposit, but it's not. Something's terribly gone wrong. Yeah. Right now, GoFundMe is looking into it. There's problems with it. I don't know what's going on. Someone donated 20 bucks just yesterday. It's supposed to be deposited the next day, but it hasn't. It's been problems. So this is why I said the GoFundMe, that's fine, but I won't access it until they, which is probably into next week. But the PayPal, Cash App, Venmo is just as good as the GoFundMe. It's actually even better because it's a direct support to the channel. There you go. But with that said, everyone, thank you for taking the time out to listen and to conversate with me about my photography and my print and my Velcro account. Okay? You see you can see 100% of my photos. Go to my Velcro, you can see what I just posted, because that's a brand new platform. I just been posting on that recently. But check the Instagram out. If you do want prints, there's no prints for people. No, you cannot have a print of one of my hot female friends or my hot male friends. No, you cannot have that. Now, you can have everything else but people. I do not sell people's prints as like it depends if it's conceptually art and black and white, that's different. But with that, tell everyone, thank you for watching. It is getting cold. Well, it's been fucking cold. Sorry, I have to turn around and blow my nose. Like I said, I have a slight fever, but I'm okay. I'm gonna go to the surgery procedures with my health, and I'm gonna go from there. And hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, find out if the insurance company is gonna cover this or how much do I have to come out of my pocket, because I do have to come out my pocket at some percentage, ladies and gentlemen. So, and probably going to need to, because we're going to have to probably house ourselves after the hospital surgery for a couple of days to heal. So I did notify the hospital and let them know that, because the hospital manager, the owner was like, yeah, I saw your post, man, like I saw that last week and I saw that before, but I've been watching you and I saw it before. Like he tried to offer me another suggestion from another doctor, and I was like, I already got three different suggestions. I'm going to do what I necessarily want to do. I think I'm gonna go for the surgery. I'm not gonna go for any radiation treatment, because that's just, and right now it's like early stages, but like still, like I think I'm just gonna have it removed. Though technically it's not gonna go away forever. Now it will come back slowly, but if I eat right and do well, I should be nice. I should be good.
Do I want to stay comfy?
But with that, tell everyone, I'm gonna get. Zip up here. Oh, the panda. Oh yeah, I want to talk about that Starbucks experience I was having the other day. That sucks. Did you guys see what happened to me on my live stream in Starbucks? This is why we don't go to Starbucks in fucking Manhattan. Oh my panda. It was like every homeless person flipping out and cracking, breaking windows, literally harassing people in Starbucks. Like, seriously? This is so messed up. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Be careful. This is New York City. Not everyone is friendly. But I also want to say, like I was saying earlier to you guys, about comments that have been left on this channel, and I want to emphasize this to you guys. This is why it's important for you guys to know that it is seriously that you talk to law enforcement. Every time someone comments and leaves a threatening comment on your YouTube channel, especially if you are in the city or in the facility that that person lives in, because this is a response to a video that I made about drugs in America. This is about drugs at Penn Station. Why the drugs were rampant over Penn Station, and apparently some of those drug dealers found their way to this video, or some people that or potentially could be selling street, I don't know, I'm gonna call them a street pharmacist. Okay, some people that have been leaving comments, I had to remove it, but I did make screenshots. I did report that to NYPD just in case. But here's the thing, when you comment and make threats, ladies and gentlemen, on a video that I made about Penn Station, listen, I'm a documentarian. It's my job to assess and to educate and to acknowledge and aware you about the problems. You don't like the content? Then don't be in the content. Don't be part of the content, and don't have any bias against the content, because it's a job. It's a job. Journalism is a job. And you're violating my first constitution there. And you're violating some city site ordinance laws too. You're literally threatening a civilian because he's doing their job. So, ladies and gentlemen, this channel has been getting death threats, and YouTube doesn't take it seriously, but they allow the comments. So, with that said, everyone, thank you for watching. Be safe. I sure will be safe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. You guys take care. Happy